Well, hello. No, for real. What's going on? I'm TruththeBull, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard. You know it. Pew, 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 pew.
Ashes, ashes, these.
Okay, baby better hype me up. Baby better hype me up.
All right, so we got the one and only TruththeBull jumping off the porch with us today. Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, no
Thank
problem,
you for having
man.
me.
Man, appreciate you pulling up on us today too, man.
For sure, man. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah.
Huge fan, huge fan. I'm on the porch, guys. I'm on the porch.
Yes, sir, man. And man, I'm not gonna avoid the elephant in the room here, man.
Right.
I'm used to seeing Entourage. This is a little different type of Entourage here, man.
Yeah, man, it's the inner spectrum. It's the inner spectrum, man. I'm surprised you could see him. Most people say, hey, don't see what I'm talking about. And I'm be like, you don't see these colorful things around me? So it's crazy you can see them. You're a special kind of guy, man.
Yeah, man. You want to introduce them, shout them out, man, so everyone knows who's who
For
up there?
sure. This is Cy. This is Felix. This is Lily. And I can go on. I can go on forever just going through the list of all of these, what's the word? What should I say? Personalities. For lack of better terms.
Yeah. So did these personalities find you, or did you discover them?
I think that's a trick question. Like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, you know? My manager back there going crazy. He like that. He like, psh. But yeah, man, that's a trick question. Yeah.
We just go, yeah.
Right.
All right, cool, man. All right, no, say no more. We'll get back to them in a second,
Right.
man. But let's learn about TruththeBull, man.
do it.
So born and raised in Atlanta, is that right?
Born and raised, man. Born and raised. I love the city.
Okay. Any part of the city you from originally that?
West Side.
Okay.
Grew up on the West Side. Yeah, family really at the heart of the city. But then I moved. You have a great grandparent. I don't know if you're familiar, but the audience may know, like, you got a great grandparent, and y'all all meet there, and that's like your home. You spend your holidays there and all that. And then my mom decides to move, on the West Side, and that's where I grew up.
Yeah. And speak on your upbringing. Like, what were you into as a kid and everything, man?
What was I into? What I'm doing now, music. Like, man, I've been making music since like second grade, writing raps. Like my first rap, it was like a glue song. Like, and I was in like maybe like third grade, second or third grade, and my brothers was like, bro, that song pretty hard. And for some reason, that stuck with me so much. Like, you think this is fire? Like, I think it's fire too. And since then, that's all she wrote, bro. I just been in love with making music.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And who were you listening to back then? Like, who were some of your favorite artists that might have inspired you to even start at it then?
In second grade, and like in elementary school, who was I listening to? Anything my mom put on?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like whatever's playing in the car. Man, like growing up, man, I used to be like super into entertainment in general. Acting, growing up in the church, they do plays, and I'm telling people their lines, and I'm like, 9, 8, 7 years old. I've always been into being on stage, and like it feels good to put on a show, So I think one of like the bigger influences that I picked up on early was probably Chris Brown. Like,
Okay.
I'm putting on a show, but man, he putting on a show. Like, I'm watching on BET, like, dog, that's crazy. I also used to dance too, so like, I'm like, yo, I just love to entertain. So I would say artists like in that generation, Chris Brown, maybe like Soulja Boy, just stars,
Yeah.
Stars. So, yeah.
And when you first started making music, was your mom like real supportive of it?
Yeah, man, she always knew, like, that's what he loved to do. Like I said, it was either dancing, it was either rapping, it was either stepping, it was something. Like somewhere, like I couldn't help myself but be in front of an audience, So, yeah.
Okay. And what was the family dynamic like at home? Did you have mom and dad? Did you have siblings, or was it just you and your mom, or?
Got 2 brothers, an older brother and a younger brother. And the dynamic, man, it's all boys. So,
Okay.
Insanity, you know how that goes. But like, my mom don't play the radio. She was on that. She's like, nah. We used to walk out dressed the same. If you ever grew up in the struggle, your mama buying all y'all the same fit. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all wearing the same thing, but we was just all well mannered, cause she don't play. So, yeah. you know the story. You grew up struggling, trying to find your way, but yeah, she did her thing.
Okay.
For sure.
And what type of student were you in school?
Good grades, for sure. I'm not finna front and be like, ah, man, I was in school. Not like, man, I'm A's and B's. Like, I used to dread getting C's. I was like that kind of student. Like, bro, like, let me, like, what I need to do to get this C up. Like, and then I'm talking about from like second grade, third grade. Like, making good grades, but school always came easy to me. I love to read. So I was more so into like the entertainment part. Like, I would get my papers back from my teacher with an A on it, and I'll draw on it and flip it over and write a rap. Or like if I'm turning in a paper, I'll like have a rap on the back of it. And she'll be like, you really got a B, but this rap was hard. I'm finna give you an A just because.
She would change the grade?
Yeah, seriously, like stuff like that. Like stuff like that used to happen to me like second, third, fourth grade. Like even though I was in fifth grade, I was like I said, I was into dancing, I was into entertainment. And like I was like the hip hop bunny for like a school play. And like for me, that was like my big shining moment. It felt so good to like get on stage in front of the whole school and show them what I got, you know?
Yeah.
So
you were never nervous or anything, have stage fright or anything like that? You kind of felt like you were kind of, born for this then, or?
man, the nerves kind of drive me, you know? I love the feeling. Like, I love feeling like, man, have you ever been on stage and have you ever had to put on a show? That feeling of like your nerves are throbbing. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro, like, we've been on stages. These guys was with me, like, even before they was physical, they was with me. But being on stages and having to go out there anyway. And once you hit that floor and once you hit that stage, it's like everything else is out the window. Everything else just goes away. And looking out into the crowd and seeing people and seeing like whoa, that's like, I fiend for that, So I'm insane, pretty much. Pretty much.
And when would you say you jumped off the porch? How old were you at the time?
Say again?
When would you say you jumped off the porch?
When would I say I jumped off the porch, meaning like got into?
Just like starting to experience life for yourself.
Oh, so more so like a turning point. What'd you think? Yeah, but I don't, say it again? Yeah, well, yeah. I would say it was when I was in sixth grade. Like, when I was in sixth grade, I kind of got into like stepping, like competitive stepping. Like, real deal. Shout out to GSL. If you know, you know. Like, a competitive stepping. It's almost like competitive dance, but like, man, it's intense. And that really was the turning point for me where I just was like, whew, I've always been a star. I've always been driven to be a star. But when I did that, because my coach didn't play the radio either. It's ironic, like he was like the drill sergeant. And I fell in love with the fact that you win there and you practicing, and you get on that stage and you give it 103,000 millionth percentile. You know what I mean? Walking off exhausted, not almost passing out. These are sixth graders, seventh graders, going out and putting on a show for hundreds of people to the point where once they're done, they're passing out as soon as they walk off the stage. You know what I mean? Like, it's intense. And I fell in love with that feeling. And I always knew I had that feeling, but that was like, okay, I like to put on a show. I like to be seen. I'm not gonna act like I'm too cool for school. Like, oh man, I'm an artist and I'm artsy and I'm mysterious and I'm cool. Like, nah, bro, you finna know me and you finna see me and I'm finna make you, like, I got on a hamburger shirt, a yellow and red mustard ketchup shirt with a stage full of imaginary friends. You gonna know me. So, yeah, I feel like stepping was the moment where I was like, I gotta show the world,
Yeah. And at this point, were you like recording music and releasing music, or was it more just rapping and just writing at the time?
Just writing. I didn't even get my first studio set up until about, I think it was a Christmas, I was in the 7th grade. I think that Christmas, because like I said, I was doing acting, I was stepping, I was doing everything. Like, I just loved to entertain. But in 7th grade, my mom asked me, she was like, you like rapping more than the rest of the stuff you do, huh? And I was like, yeah. And then that Christmas, she's a single mother. But she doing it. Like, she gets me a small studio set up. And like, that was like, bet, that's my first time having something to record. And then you gotta think, that's like walking in blindly. YouTube was kind of fresh and new. Trying to figure out how to record yourself, like, it was difficult. So I didn't even really pick it up until I met my friends in the 8th grade. But before then, like 6th grade and back, I was just writing. I had books and books and books of raps.
Oh, wow.
Like, I knew I wanted to do this. It wasn't like I got onto rapping, 12th grade or anything like that. Like, when people start saying they rap, I kind of was feeling offended. I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean rap? You know what I'm saying? I rap. Like, I'm super competitive. Like, that's what the Bull stands for in my name. It's like, nah. I'll do what I want to do to the fullest potential. And if you saying you do what I do, show me. So like, yeah, I would say I've been rapping for real, like 7th grade. That's when 7th, 8th grade, that's when I got into recording.
Okay. And was there a lot of rap battles back then, like to where you were actually battling people, or?
Man, I would rap battle in my cul-de-sac. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go at my cul-de-sac and it's kids who say they rap, and I'm like, show me. So it's a cul-de-sac full of kids. And it's like, oh, you versus me is really me versus how I beat the guy the last time. I'm not finna lose. I kind of was like that. Like, I was super competitive, But that was about it. That was the only time I like got in rap battles. I didn't like go to like the rap leagues,
Okay, yeah. And when you finally started dropping music, releasing music, like what type of feedback were you getting back then?
Trash. It's crazy because you love something so much and people are like, But you gotta think, man, it's a bunch of 8th graders, cause like me and my friends, 8th, 9th graders, we don't know how to mix. All you do is you just wanna rap. Your rap skills are subpar, mediocre to say the least. But you have faith in yourself and your abilities, So looking back on it, I'm thinking, I'm fine. I'm like, ooh, boy, did you hear that bar I said? 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, that's fire, But for a 7th grader or 8th grader, it was cool. I wouldn't be mad at it,
Yeah. And what was your style back then, like rap-wise?
What was my style? Fast as fuck. Like just running on and on. Not even caring about the context, just rapping because I can rap. You don't really pick up on it until you like really sit down and see someone who can really rap. Like, you're like, oh shit, like he's rapping. But I was just rapping fast. I think at the time I was probably listening to Tyler Creator, the whole Odd Future era. Like, me and my friends were crazy about that around that time, 7th grade, 8th grade. Drake, Kendrick. Like, Drake was like the first actual solid CD I had was Thank Me Later. I always say that. Like, that's why Drake's my favorite artist, because like that's the artist I was like, bro, he's fire. Like, I know Thank Me Later like the back of my hand. Like, I'll play it all day, in the shower, in the bathtub when I'm a kid. Like, I'm playing it while I'm on road trips. I'm playing it. That's probably my favorite album of all time. So that's what I was listening to. But that just because you listen to him, I mean you can rap like him.
Yeah.
So at the time I was rapping kind of trashy, but here we are.
There you go, man. What'd you do after school? Did you go to college, or did you start working a job, or what?
Man, we pretty much just winged it. Now, I never went to college. And it was crazy. Like, based off of my story and how I'm telling it, I was a good student. Like, I was really good in school. Like, I like to do all the activities. I like to be seen. I like to be popular. And I like to have good grades. Like I was my class president in 5th grade, and I was my class president in 12th grade. Like, I would say a thriving student, an exemplary student, and I did not go to college. And I think that says a lot, like, because kids feel like, oh, I have to go to school, I have to do it to be successful, because that's how they got us brainwashed. I don't want to get on a soapbox, but we feel like we're almost sheeped into school, and then school goes to job, and then job goes into retirement, and your life is done. You know what I mean? Like
much.
you experienced two, three things, and that was it for you. I didn't want to do that. I knew I was doing shit with my dogs, like in high school. Like I'm doing like, I would quote unquote famous rapper stuff. So when I go back to school, like I'm in high school, I'm coming from doing cool stuff in music, and then going back to high school, I remember vividly, man, the counselor was like, didn't you just perform at South by Southwest? Didn't you just do this over here? Didn't you just? And I'm over here racking my brain like, yeah, but what college I'm gonna go to? She's like, shouts out to Miss Chin, because I feel like it's important to give people the credit. She's like, I ain't gonna lie, man, I went to college, and I love y'all to death, but this is not what I wanted to do. And that stuck with me. Like, this was my turning. Before I said that was my turning point when I got off the porch, I would say this is like the real, I jumped off the porch. Because I was not going to school. That moment I decided, she made me feel faith in myself to say no. And I know how crazy that's gonna look, because you're like the school guy. Like, you're the guy, like, everyone know you, walk around, everybody know you. And I had to give a speech at graduation. And you know, in graduation, they got the names up there of what's, like the face and the name of what school you're going to. And my face and my name come up there after my speech. And they don't show a school. And everyone's like, after graduation, they come up to me like, why you didn't get accepted in any school? What's this? They was baffled. And I had to sit there and explain to them, I don't want to go to school. I want to be a rapper, you know? And that's a hard pill to swallow. And I feel like that takes guts, you know, to follow your dreams no matter what, no matter how people, would y'all agree? So,
No,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, man. I'm insane, man. I'm insane.
So would you say like that day is when you really started taking this shit serious? I mean, you probably already were taking it serious, but now it became real. Like.
That day, I became, what's the word I'm looking for? Afraid, if I'm being honest. Cause I didn't think I was gonna be here. I didn't think, I felt I could be here. But you what, 19 years old, talking about you not going to school and you wanna be a rapper? People are, and this is like early, like maybe like 2-3 young artists had really popped. I'm talking about I wanna be a rapper, you know? So I would say I had the drive, but I was nervous, I was afraid, and I feel like it's a part of the journey.
Yeah.
Like if y'all out there and you're chasing your dream and you jump off the porch and you feel like you're afraid of failure, that's not unnatural. It's a part of it. That means you're doing something right, in my opinion.
Was there like a breakthrough song for you at the time that kind of made you realize and make you believe like, all right, this is obtainable?
I wouldn't say it's a specific song. Well, maybe it's like, if I can like pinpoint a song, I would say it's a song me and my boy in the song had. Maybe Never Let Her. It's an old song. I was like, bro, this is actually a fire song. I genuinely felt like this song was a good song. And it's gonna kill me that I can't think of the song prior to that. But yeah, it was around that time. So right after high school, and me and my boys were like, okay, we're not going to college. We're gonna have to get good at this rapping for real. So we're like locked in his house, my boy in the son house, like every day. Like I'm sleeping on the floor and he on his bed, and we just waking up in the morning. Like we linking with our friends, we working on music, we rapping, we're building our skill set, we're in the gym. Like when people say, boy, I've been in the gym, like, no, we was in the gym. Like looking at, not even just rapping, but we're looking at artists we're inspired by, and like, why do we think they're so fire? Why is Travis to us so fire? What's up with the eardrummers? Why is it that they're so appealing? Like, dang, look what Yachty did. Like, what is it, Tyler? Why are we studying those things? It's not like we're the best rapper in the world. We're like, no, bro, we want to be the best and the biggest artists in the world, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, real student of the game, man.
Very, and I'm always humble enough to learn more. Like, I have layers and layers of artistry to unravel and learn, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to last year. You dropped a song and video called Red X.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the inspiration for the song and the concept for the video if people haven't seen it.
The inspiration for the song? Well, right before that, I had went viral for the song called Pray for My Ops. and that song kind of like was just a hard rap song. And I just wanted to make an EP, a body of work, you know, something that could follow up with. And Red X for me was just some more turntness, more just a hype song, you know. But I wanted to say something in there. In the song, I'm saying stuff that is like real. But I don't care if you listen to it. I don't care if you're listening to it for that reason or not. Like you could feel my energy through the song. You don't gotta hear what I'm saying, but you could feel what I'm saying. So with the video, I wanted to do the same thing. And on the second half of the video, I kind of used another song off that project, El Toro, called Lost Cause. And it's like a deep cut, you know? Because I wanted to show the duality of like being able to be an artist who's like turned up, like, oh, I rap, or, you know, I talk my shit, whatever, excuse my language. And someone who has depth. Like, I feel like people feel like they're one-sided, you know? Like, oh, I gotta be hard if I'm gonna be a rapper. I gotta be a singer if I'm gonna be an artist, you know? I'm like, bro, no, duality is a real thing. You're not a one facet person. Like, you don't just smile all day. You don't just frown all day. You know what I'm saying? You don't just think positive thoughts all day, which you can, but most likely you don't, you know? So I'm like, sure, let me show the duality in the video, and that's how that came about.
And talk about the feedback, because it looked like fans were really messing with it too, man.
Yeah, man. It was received well. And it could just be the energy. Of course, the comparisons is, oh, you remind me of Kendrick. Oh, you remind me of Jid. Oh, you remind me of Keem. Oh, you know, cause that played a factor. But every time I get those comparisons, I'm like, bro, y'all go look at my discography, bro. Like, bro, I make a little of everything. Like, and I feel like when people go check out my discography, they really realize, like, oh, he's gonna be one of the biggest artists of all time. Because of how I pull off what I pull off. I don't just pull off the rapping. Like, I really have like pop songs that are like, oh, that could chart. Like, oh, I got deep cuts. Like, I have people tell me like, bro, that song made me cry. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that's what real artistry is, man. You gotta be multi-dimensional.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. To be the best. You wanna compete with the Drakes and the Kendricks and the Coles. If you wanna be up there, I'm coming for you. I see you watching this. I'm coming for you. I'm talking to you. Y'all point. We talking to you. I'm not gonna say a name, but y'all know. Here we come. But it's all up. But yeah, man, if you wanna compete with the greats, man, you have to treat yourself and walk as such. You know, you have to study them. They all study somebody, you know what I mean? Until they found themselves, and then that became a beast that you cannot compete with. So, yeah.
So a couple months ago, you introduced the Inner Spectrum through the Welcome Back video, right? Mm-hmm. That was the first one?
Yeah, that was it. Man, it was crazy. Like, I was so nervous about this idea. Because I had used Billy. I would have had him up here, but because he's the guy. He's the originator. I started with one, you know what I mean? And it was well received because it caught on TikTok. And man, I asked my friends, asked my manager, asked my team, I'm like, would I be insane to use a lot? Like, I'm like, what if I use a lot of them? And they're like, what? Like a lot of, like it's hard to see, you know? It's hard to see, but I have vision. So I'm like, I want to use a bunch of puppets. And they're like, yo, man, you've proven yourself to us 1,000 times. So if you see it, we may not see it the clearest right now, but we have faith in you. So go ahead. And I'm like, all right, bet. So first thing I need to buy 10, 15 puppets. I need a house built that's look like a crazy house, like, and we sat there and we got to work. That's why we didn't even drop to the tail end of this. Like, we didn't even start dropping for real until like August, because we're in the lab. Like, they were like, bro, you sure you don't want to just drop and then we come back to it? I'm such a artist. Like, no. I'm like, no. Can't do it until it's ready. You know what I mean? And we sat and they were patient. I'm thankful for them because they was patient enough to allow me to be who I am and have faith enough to see it through with me, you know? And the results show for themselves. It's like, I honestly feel like in my city, in Atlanta, really in the industry, if I'm being honest, there's not a lot of it's not a lot. I feel like we can't. It's not a lot of artists I feel like we can't compete with. I don't feel like there's a lot of. I'm telling you, I'm a competitor. The bull comes from my drive and how competitive I am. I feel like rapping is a sport, music is a sport. I'm competitive. I feel like Jordan. Ironically, he was on the Bulls, but I feel like Jordan, bro. I feel like Jordan coming out of college. Like, y'all don't realize who this is? Like, yeah. Yeah. I don't mean to be. I'm a real humble guy. I just feel like it's important.
Pop your shit,
man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, man, like, dog, I love what I do, bruh. I really love what I do, man. And I feel like people don't have the drive and passion. Music is not in the best state right now. Everything's getting by. Like, okay, that made some money. What's next? Or that was cool for 2 months. I just, very just, you know? I feel like, bro, I'll put it on my back. And that's a lot to say, cause like, bro, who is you? We just now seeing you off the porch. Who is you? Don't worry, you'll know. You'll know, trust me.
So were you nervous at all before you rolled this out, how it might be received by the fans and all that, or were you pretty confident that it was gonna win them over?
I was somewhere in the middle. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, cause I'm asking people, I'm like, okay, look guys, cause once the Inner Spectrum had arrived at my house, I'm like, all right, I'm showing pictures. Like, what you think of this? And then I'm showing pictures of the house that we use. I'm like, what do you think of this? And people are like, I see something. I can see it, but there was still no visual connection. I didn't add the voices. I didn't paint the full picture yet. So I'm still like on edge. I'm like, how are people gonna receive this? But as soon as I dropped that Welcome Back video, that was confirmation for me, like, okay, we got something.
Yeah.
We got something that I feel like, at least right now, no one else is doing, you know? Like, it's not just me, it's us. So, we're a package deal.
And did you write all the dialogue for Welcome Back? And
All of it.
okay.
I write it out. Shouts out to Jacob Rink, that's my brother. He's the videographer I've been working with for years. We sit in there and we have mapped the whole thing out. It was the most complex thing we've worked on. Like out of all the years we've worked, I think we've been working for like 3 years now. It was the most complex because now you have to add in the voices. You got to make sure when you're doing certain things, it's not, you know, it needs to feel real. It needs to feel like you're watching something that is bigger than life. You know what I mean? It needs to feel, I'm such a picky person, I'm such a picky artist. I'm like, if it doesn't feel bigger than life, it doesn't feel like you're watching the show, if it doesn't feel like you're a part of something larger than just a rapper, then I'm not doing it right. So yeah. The boys need a little straightening up, man.
And then you followed up with the Tyrant video.
Right.
Talk about the inspiration for that song.
Inspiration for Tyrant. It's crazy. My team hates that song. My team hates that song. I'm not even gonna lie on this camera and tell y'all, like, but the inspiration was like, for me, it was just like, it felt very appropriate in my eyes to just, it felt very welcome in. You know what I mean? It felt very come into my world. You know what I mean? Facts. Like, it felt very like come into my world. And that's that. Like, I don't really have too much ties to Tyrant, but I love the fact that people tell me like, bro, yo, Tyrant my favorite song. You know what I mean? Like, I love Tyrant. I listen to Tyrant every day. You know what I mean? The inspiration for the video, kind of like the kind of the visual that went with the song, was just, bro, I want to do something that's like feels bright and it brings you into the world, and that's kind of like the idea for the video. And that was just like our first roll of the dice. You know, we was getting the kinks out, and that's kind of what Tyrant was.
Yeah, and then that led to Hype Me Up.
Yeah.
And here we are going viral like crazy on this one.
Baby better hype me, baby better hype me up. Nah, yeah. And what's crazy, man, it's so ironic because like every part every part that was played and hyped me up was just like so, what's the word I'm looking for? Effortless? Like, I'm like, all right, we did Tyrant, boom, cool. I need to follow up. All right, went in the studio, my manager's in there, my engineer's in there. I got a beat from, shouts out to Lifted, I got a beat from my bro Lifted. I'm just like, it was crazy when I heard the beat, the hype me up part was literally the first words that came out of my mouth. Like, I'm like, oh, baby, better hype me up. I'm like, oh, that's fire. And I just went with it. It was so effortless. Like, we got in the studio, my manager like, hey, man, you rap it a different way than you would rap your verse. Like, do your verse like in your tone. Did it like that. Me and him sat there. We were like, hey, I think this may have a little something on it, a little spin on it. We may need to, really sit with this one. What's crazy, the part that people keep, the ring around the rosy, pockets full of oldie ashes. People keep saying like those little kids, like, man, that wasn't no little kid, that's my girl. Like, I had her come to our studio, and what's crazy, there were kids there, like her little sisters and her little cousins were there. I'm like, no, I want you to sing the part, 'cause I know she can sing. So I know she'll be able to hit the la 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 las and the ring around the rosies, But people be like, dang, what sample is that? That's not a sample. Like, we recorded that live in the studio, But yeah, the song is, man, and it's so crazy, because like for me, Hype Me Up is like I'm not gonna talk down on the song, it's going crazy. That song's a 10. But I know in our arsenal, we have some good music. Like, simply put, we have some stuff that's like, and it's crazy, like this is my second release of the year, and the song is like getting so much attention. I'm like, bro, do y'all even know what's in store? Like, it make me wanna look like a mad scientist. But yeah, like, dog, we got some stuff. But I'm happy, man. I couldn't be happier. Shouts out to everyone out there, all y'all out there. If you listen to Hype Me Up at least once, if you heard a snippet on TikTok, if you heard it on Instagram, I applaud you. If you shared, if you liked, if you commented, I applaud you. If you believe in real artistry, I bow to you. Because without you, none of this would have happened. No matter how good I think the song is. If y'all don't think it's good, it means zilch. So yeah, man, that's Hype Me Up, and it's going crazy right now. And I like the fact that it's going so crazy because it gives me time to formulate. Gives me time to plot and plan, Yeah, so shouts out to Hype Me Up. Shouts out to everyone who's getting hype in the gym, everyone who's getting hype at a party. Man, it's at like right now, maybe like 18,000 creates on TikTok, and it's like trending like 27 on IG Reels. Finna hit over 300,000 streams, and it only been like a month. I mean, and that's with just just on the incline. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm happy. Couldn't be happier.
No, it's out of here. And I see a lot of celebrities interacting with it.
He said, no, it's out of here. You're tripping. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
How does that make you feel when you see some of these bigger names kind of, interacting with the post, liking the post?
Man, how does it feel? Man, it feels right. It feels right. I'm big on meditating and visualizing and seeing things here first, and then it becomes physical. Like, man, when I went viral in 2023, not to backtrack, but when I went viral in 2023, I was meditating every single day. Think and Grow Rich is my favorite book. If you know, you know. I was writing my affirmations on my boards. If you go in my room, I look like a mad scientist. It's not just outside where y'all can see. It's in my room. Like, there's papers all in my room. I got like 3-4 boards, big ass boards in my room. And I'm literally sitting there meditating, visualizing an amount of followers. I'm visualizing an amount of monthly listeners. I'm saying it out of my mouth. I'm speaking it into existence. So it doesn't feel far-fetched. It feels right. It feels like your wish is my command. And if you know, you know.
So you mentioned you're formulating the next idea. Is
Right.
it going to be a project, or we just rolling out singles and videos
Do
right
we
now?
snitch? Do we say what's happening next, or do we? Do we? Do we? Do we? Next question. No, I'm just playing. Nah, we're working. We're working. I don't want to spoil anything, man. I'm very like, Girl, I can't. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm such an artist, like, I feel like we need to keep that excitement about what's next. Like, we tend to, like, spill the beans too early. And how do you expect someone to be excited about what you're doing if you're always trying to pre-promote or, like, pre-give them what's to be desired? You know what I mean? So I'll hold off on that question, respectfully.
Understood, man. Looking long term, like what's some goals you got set for yourself that you're trying to manifest?
Goals? Man, I'm a big dream. I dream big, man. My biggest goals, I usually say is two. One, to be the biggest artist of my generation and considered one of the biggest artists of all time. I'm talking about up there with those guys and those gals, whoever you want to. That's one of my biggest goals. But my purpose for being here, like God telling me every day, is like save millions of lives, millions and millions of lives, through my artistry, through my creativity, through my being on this camera and talking directly to you, inspire people, make them feel good. Like I just had it was so crazy. My manager, my team, was just in awe about it. Like I had a mother send me like this long paragraph about how her son is autistic and he get made fun of for using puppets. And I'm not like a puppet lover, like, oh, I love puppets, you know? I'm just creative. So that was my way of showing my creativity. But the fact that that can inspire, I think he was 7 years old, shouts out to Hunter, inspire a child to get back into something he loved, that's more than any dollar I can get, honestly. Like, yeah, being rich is cool. Having all those Grammys I'm gonna be cool. All them plaques are gonna be exciting. But bro, like, that is like, chef's kiss, like, dog. You're inspired by something, because everybody's been brainwashed, honestly, everyone. You, me, them, everyone's been brainwashed. And it's not a bad thing. It's about how you're brainwashed. You know what I mean? How are you raised? How is the seed watered? And sometimes the gardener doesn't have the best tools. And that's just because their gardener didn't have the best tools. But let me get in here and let me like rearrange the roots. Let me pick off the thorns. Let me do those things to help that tree grow properly. So that was super inspiring. That's probably the biggest thing for me that's happened this year. Was like that mother sending me that paragraph and sending me a picture of her son holding like 7 puppets like how I do. So yeah.
No, that's super dope. That's like the real power of art and music.
Man, it is the power of influence. We're all influencers. We got thousands of followers. Let's really, really do it, you know?
All right. So Truth, I actually got some questions for the Inner Spectrum, if you mind, man. So for you guys, man, what do you feel is the core of all this madness? What is it all for?
Well, we feel at its core what this is a reflection of life. Someone going through each day in hopes of understanding the reason for anything, for us existing.
And is there a reason why you guys are called the Inner Spectrum?
We're what all people have inside them, but just put into art. We all go through so many things that shape us. We're multidimensional and multi-faced beings who feel something new each day. It's inside you. It's a spectrum.
Answer.
Good answer. You agree with this, Truth?
Yeah, I do. Great answer.
All right, Truth, man. Go ahead and plug your social media so everyone knows to follow you at, and the Inner Spectrum too, brother.
All right, so you can find me everywhere, on the moon, on the sun, on Jupiter, at TruththeBull, no spaces. TruththeBull, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're there.
Cool. And you got a shout out you want to give before you wrap it up here, bro?
Yeah, man, shouts out to my team, shouts out to my brothers, shouts out to my manager, shouts out to 30 Rock, shouts out to Schlang, shouts out to everybody, man, who helped put this together. And most importantly, shouts out to y'all, man. Without y'all, this would not be possible. Yeah.
All right, cool. That was good, bro.
We jumping up the porch.
Ashes, these
Okay, baby better hype me up. Baby better hype me up. Baby better hype me up. Okay.